putting it all together is one of my favorite lessons because it literally takes everything we've been doing this whole semester and just puts it into one. So starting off, how many roots will this have? Well, it's based on your highest exponent, so it's going to have 3. It's starting an end behavior. It says 2x to the third. So it's going to end positive because it's positive 2x to the third. And then remember that the starting behavior is opposite. So our graph is going to look something like that. So then we go to Descartes' theorem. So Descartes, we're going to look at our p of x and our p of negative x. Okay, p of x is just saying read the equation and write down the signs that go with it. So positive 2x to the third, negative 3x squared, negative 8x, and positive 12. So that's 1, 2 sign changes. So in your positive ones, you're going to have 2 sign changes, or you might have 0 sign changes. Now we're going p of negative x, which means I'm going to go up to my equation, and I'm going to circle anything that's raised to an odd power, and I'm going to change it. So this was positive, it's now negative. This was negative, it's now positive. So I'm going to read it in order. Negative, negative, positive, positive. That means there's 1 change. So I can't take a pair out of 1, so it stays 1. Total roots, I should have 3 total, and then my imaginary roots will be filling in the blank for this. So if I need 3, I would need 0 more here, or I would need 2 more there. Okay, our p-value. P, remember, is the last number. It's the constant. That's 12. So plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are its factors. Our q is 2, and the factors of that are plus or minus 1 and 2. And remember what you're doing with this is you're taking all of these numbers and dividing them by 1, and then all of them and dividing by 2. So p over q is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And now we're going to divide them all by 2. So we would have 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 6 halves, and 12 halves. All the other halves are going to cancel out. So if you had like 2 over 2, that's 1. If you had 4 over 2, that's 2. Those are already there. Okay, so we can use any one of those to do synthetic division with. But here's what we know. We know that one of them has to be negative in either scenario. So I would try your negative options first with synthetic division, because you could potentially try every single positive one and none of them would work because of this. There's a potential that none of them would work. So because I have the magic answers, I know that negative 2 works, so I'm going to use that. So negative 4, negative 7, 14 would give me 6, and that would give me negative 12, which is 0. Okay, because this was raised to the third, what that means is now I have something that I can factor. So I have 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. So I say what multiplies to 12, which is a times c, and adds to negative 7. The things that are going to do that are negative 4 and negative 3. So this is long method factoring. So I bring down my first, I bring down my last, and in the middle I put negative 4x and negative 3x. Group those. Greatest common factor is 2x, and I'm left with x minus 2. Here I can take out a negative 3, and I'm left with x minus 2. Okay, so now we're going to set those equal to 0. So 2x minus 3 and x minus 2. I'll write that again. 2x minus 3 and x minus 2. So solving this one, you're going to add 3 to the other side, and then you're going to divide by 2. Here you're going to add 2 to the other side and get 2. So your roots for this that you found were negative 2, 3 halves, and 2. And maybe you want to write this as 1.5. Maybe that'll help you with your max and min. It's really up to you. So go ahead and put this on your graph. Negative 2, positive 2, and then negative 1.5 is right here. I can graph my end behavior on this. My end behavior says it's going to end up, and this side's going to go down. So I need to figure out what's happening between negative 2 and negative 1.5. So again, if you're trying to find what that is, the midpoint, you're going to take negative 2 and add negative 1.5, and then you're going to divide it by 2. It's like you're averaging those points. Okay, so when you do that, you are going to get Oh, that 1.5 is positive. So that should go right there. And then this is going to be a positive. Okay, so when you add those together and divide, you're going to get that your x value is negative 0.25. And you're going to plug that back into your equation and get 13.78 for your y value. So you can think of it as an ordered pair. So if you go back 0.25 and up, I'm going to make these boxes going by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That first one is going to go right there. That's going to be our maximum. So then a relative min is going to be between 1.5 and positive 2. So I would take 1.5 and add 2 and then divide it by 2. And that's going to give me 1.75. So my x value is 1.75. You plug that back in, you get negative 0.47. So you're going over 1.75 and down 0.47, which is right below, and that's what your graph should look like. So that's taking everything we've done in this chapter and putting it together in a nice organized fashion.